Hey y'all, today we're going to talk some big books, and I'm not talking about, Bottom's Dream, Arno Schmidt doesn't make the cut, but I do have some giant oversized books on hand. Let's see how they stack up to your collection. Hey y'all, Noah. Everyone who reads It Must Converse is the channel. This weekend I started a buddy read with Una, my friend over at the Codex Cantina. We're reading The Buddhist Philosophy of Assimilation. And this is a beautiful book. You can see this, right? But it's kind of oversized, right? And it got me thinking, what are those books that are too big to fit on some of your shelves? Do you have any books like that? Are there any books that are so big that you have trouble finding a place to even put them? And like I said, Bottom's Dream doesn't make the cut here. I don't own any Arno Schmidt. I know that there's some giant oversized editions of that, which is ridiculous. But just to give you some context, my giveaway for the month of March here is the Book of the New Sun, Gene Wolfe. This is the complete Book of the New Sun, and this is a fairly big hardback. Okay, bigger than your standard sized Bible, right? Something like that. And we're not talking about thickness today, but I did, leave to the side some large format books that may be very thin, something like a comic presentation, right? But just for some size context, we'll put this one over here. The Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe hardcover. That's a pretty sizable edition right there. And before I get to my top five, I'm going to give you five big boys today. I'm going to go through some honorable mentions because there is this very heavy and amazing edition of The Discoverers by Daniel J. Bornstein. This thing is beautifully bound and uh, replete with images, full color, all that kind of thing. And you see the size of this, right? It's no small potatoes. There is a video on my beautiful books playlist where I show this if anybody is interested. So there's an honorable mention, right? The next two honorable mentions are the biggest in a way because they're the widest books that I own, and that is Flannery O'Connor's The Cartoons. You've seen it on my channel. Uh, if you've kept up a little bit in the first of the year, and also this book, I put my own little cover around it just with some paper here. This is the Illuminated Blake, and that's William Blake. If you're not familiar, and why it's oversized like this is because you have your pages of all William Blake's illuminated works on the side with some notes and commentary on the inner margins there, right? So it reads like this. Very tough to find a spot on the shelf for this one. Let me tell you. Gotta kind of lay it down, and its spine is going the opposite way of all the other books, right? Both of these books, they're like set in this coffee table format. And I will say that the Flannery O'Connor is just a mite bit taller than the Illuminated Blake, but the Illuminated Blake is just a couple of millimeters wider. So there's the widest books for sure. But we're not just talking about wide. A big book, an oversized book, is one that really doesn't fit on the shelf. And I have a shelf of art books, and some of those get pretty oversized. One that I love, and I won't show a lot of it because I do have a video on my beautiful books playlist for this one as well. This is Jerusalem, Emanation of the Giant Albion by William Blake. This is the Princeton University Press edition. Beautifully done. It has full color plates and the text afterwards so that you can easily read it, right? But this book is a pleasure to go through. and to look at and to study. William Blake rewards study. There we go. You can see these images more close up and things on that video if you like it. I'll just link the whole Beautiful Books playlist in my description box there. So there you can see the difference between something like Jerusalem, the Emanation of the Giant Albion, and this large hardcover of Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun, right? Quite a difference. And these art books, it seems like, are printed oversized so you can get that little detail and everything like that, which is very useful when looking at Blade. He was very concerned with minute particulars in his writing and in his images, and would just put something small in there that is sort of a key of understanding what he was getting at. Very cool. So, number 5, Jerusalem, Emanation of the Giant Albion. Number 4, countdown to my largest book. Number 4 is going to be Alan Moore and Melinda Gebe's Lost Girls. This is a giant book and a giant edition. And whoa, whoa. I'm sure there's something here that I could show you. Whoa. How about that one? Okay. there's an end page too. This is very hardcore. It is a beautiful work. It is quite hard to take, as far as, you got to just really be in the mood. Every single bit of this storyline between our 3 protagonists there is told through sexual encounters. Every bit of it. All the flashbacks, all the current stuff, everything. The whole story is told, and it's this unbelievable, like, ecstatic storytelling like that. And Lost Girls sits pretty much toe-to-toe with Jerusalem, Emanation of the Giant Albion there. You can see. But is a little bit wider, and so it got to a little higher spot. You can see just much, good 2.5, 3 inches taller than the Gene Wolfe Book of the New Sun there. Number 3, and one of my favorite books that I own of all time, also in my Beautiful Books playlist, is the Codex Serinfinianus. If you haven't come in contact with this book, please. It is one of the most amazing, imaginative exercises ever put down and given out to to humanity. And in this, you'll find flora and fauna, birds, people, animals, architecture, games, and all manner of other stuff that you don't even know how to classify. It is an encyclopedia of a different world, is just what it is. The world of the imagination. And whose imagination? Well, Luigi Serinfini. Luigi Serinfini is an architect, and so has a wonderful hand at drawing, right? And all these pictures are pen and colored pencil. It's wonderful and just beautiful. Just like the Lost Girls is also colored pencil, I believe. But no pen, just pencil. But one thing to point out before we move on from the Codex Serinfinianus is I always thought, and I never hear anybody say this, the name of this thing is Codex Serinfini, with the F sound spelled differently than the name, right? But then anus. So I don't think it's a stretch to title this book The Codex from Serinfini's Ass, right? I mean, it's just indecipherable. You have people talking about decoding it, and it's never been done. This script is completely made up by him, and everything about it is from him like that. It makes sense. Is he that sarcastic? Yes. So just look at the size of the Codex Serafinianus here when compared to even a large hardback, right? The Codex Serafinianus is a beautiful book, a beautiful experience. And I end up picking through it and just kind of falling into it every month or couple months or so because it's just an amazing time. Number two, number two on my shelves is the Folio Society edition of Milton's Paradise Lost. This is with the illustrations by William Blake, of which one is the cover here. It is a gigantic edition and beautifully done. So these plates are full page reproductions, full color. Let's see how close I can get you there. I don't want to show too much, but when it comes down to it, this one is also in my beautiful books playlist. As it turns out, these very large books are art books, right? Just to be able to get a good impression of the work that was done. So one of the greatest here. I'll just leave you with that. If you want more, you can go check out. Sorry. If you want more, you can go check out the Beautiful Books playlist, right? So let's see how it stacks up. Boom. So this one is just maybe a centimeter shorter than the Codex Serafinianus, but is actually wider, just by maybe maybe a centimeter and a half. So Codex Serafinianus and Milton's Paradise Lost here are very, very close, and hard to say which one is actually bigger. The Book of the New Sun there is looking like a baby, right? Oh, so silly, but what amazing books to just thumb through and to just spend the afternoon with. All of these books. I love to spend time with all of these books, reading and looking at the pictures, especially William Blake's Jerusalem, The Emanation of the Giant Albion. And you might say, no, top five, and two of that you've shown is William Blake. We need more Blake, right? The number one biggest book that I own is this giant, unbelievable, complete graphic works of William Blake by David Bindman. He collected this, and there's commentary on the plates and stuff. It's heavy. It's huge. And I do believe that I have this one in my beautiful books as well. I'm not totally sure because this one is a black and white reproduction. Everything is black and white. Very crisp lines and very well done, but you lose color and you lose a lot. But this was a very early attempt to kind of collect William Blake's stuff and have it available in one place. Even all the works, and I mean everything that William Blake did is in here. Not only his own works, his own books, but everything that he illustrated for other people, all of his commissions, every painting that he did for anybody and for himself, any illustrations that he did for other people's works, like The Grave, and he did Night Thoughts, right? Those beautiful illustrations for Night Thoughts. They're all in here. Everything is in here. It is a spectacular book to have if you are a fan of William Blake and really want to get an idea of his entire output as an artist. I have gone through this time and time and time again, right? I mean, just to of course, Jerusalem and the emanation of the giant Albion is in there. Um, so when you collect these kind of things, you have multiple editions, multiple versions of something like Jerusalem there. There's only six copies that are extant now of that book that William Blake had done. So I probably have 4 or 5, maybe even all of them in different facsimile reproductions, right? Here's Blake illustrating some more Milton. I think that's from the Allegro, but I'm not sure. The imposing size of this book gives it my number one spot, but not just in size, but in content as well. To have every bit of William Blake's graphic works in one book just makes my heart happy. And to be able to sit down with that and not have to do anything but just turn pages and look, and be able to be washed over by such a giant of humanity and our situation. He spoke to something deeper than most people will ever know when it comes down to our condition and our situation here as humans. I love William Blake, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one, BookTube. I'll leave you with the giant layout here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.